Hello guys, and welcome to another video. My name is Alex and you're watching LxRealm. Today we look at Sparky Linux, the Debian based Linux distribution, a fast, lightweight, fully customizable operating system that offers several versions for different use cases. And let's proceed to the download. I have already downloaded, so we have the stable and the semi-rolling editions. I've gone with the stable, and here we have the various desktop environment. We have the LXQT for AMD64, we have Mate, then we have XFCE, KDE. I've gone with the minimal CLI for AMD64, which is about 772 MB, and this one does not have a desktop environment, so you'll have to install one by yourself, either during the installation or afterward. So here is my KVM. I've selected the distro right there. I give it 4 GB of RAM and 2 cores of my CPU. A disk, give it 25 GB, and then change the name to Sparky Linux and finish. This is Sparky Linux 7.2 minimal CLI 64-bit. Right, select that one and press enter. Let's let it boot now to a live environment. So this is all you get. There is no graphical interface or anything. It's just the TTY. Now you don't need a password or anything, so all we can do here is run commands. And to start the installer, you just need to run sudo sparky -installer, and there we have the installer. I'm going to select yes and proceed, and now it's asking for the English. It says it's going to use the English US local, so we select yes, and then for this configuration just use the arrow key and navigate all the way to English US. It should have an asterisk right there, US English UTF-8. Okay, press enter and then confirm it again. It's English US UTF-8. Deal with key maps. I'm going with the option do not touch key maps. And then encoding, we want UTF-8. And then for keyboard or character support, you can select whichever characters support you want. For this one, let's go with the default one. It's Latin 1 and Latin 5, Western Europe Turkic language, unless you have another language that has special characters. You can select that if you need it. And then here we have the option for selecting the kind of font you want. We have the fixed, then the terminus, then we have the terminus bold and terminus bold VGA. They say the fixed has a simplistic appearance and has better coverage of international scripts. So let's go with the default, the first one, that's fixed. And then for the font size, by default it's selected 8 by 16. Just press OK. Okay, and for the keyboard, by default it's selected the 105 key PC. No need to change. Let's go with that one. Configuring language, we go with English, and then for the Alt GR whatever, let's go with the default. And then for compose key, let's go with the no compose key. All right, now it's disk partitioning, so let's click OK and then select our disk. Let's remember we are on virtual machine, so our disk is a VDA. Use the arrow to select it. Just drop down and select it. Then label type, select GPT, and now we create 3 partitions. We need one for the EFI, another one for root, and another one for home. So make sure new is selected and press enter. For the first partition, give it 512 MB. Just write 512 M for MB. Press enter, and then navigate to type and for this one make sure to select EFI. It's like the first option, and select EFI. Okay, and then select create the second partition. For this one is the root, we want to give it 10 GB and 10G, and okay, and the file system is Linux file system is okay, no need to change the type. Let's go to create the third one and enter. We want the full size of 14.5 G, and then the type is Linux file system, it's okay. So we proceed to write and press enter. It's asking whether you want to write the partitions, so we type yes, enter, and we are done. So it's time to quit. Alright, now we need to select for partition for swap. We don't have swap, so let's go to the last option, no swap. I don't need swap partition. Okay, and then we are asked to select our root partition. Our root partition should be VDA2, the one we created with the 10 GB. Press OK. File system, we select ext4. Then we now select the home partition, should be VDA3. Okay, and file system to ext4. Good. Now we input the root password. This is the admin password for your system. Just type it in and then confirm it again. And now we are asked for the real username. I'll type Alex with a capital A to be the name of my real user. And for username, I'm going to type Alex with a small a. For the password, I'll input my password and then confirm it again. Now we are asked to enter the host name. I'm going to type this one to the name of my channel, that's LxRealm. Let's try caps, capital L, capital R, and press OK. Now for the where to install grub, it's our hard disk, that's VDA. Our bootloader delay time, you can, by default there is a 5-second delay. You can remove it to 0, but for now let's keep it there. Let's just keep it there, you'll never know. Press OK. Is your system clock set to local time? Sure, yes. And then select your location. I'm in Africa, so I'm selecting my option Nairobi right there, and yes to continue. It's asking whether to create those partitions that we created. And let's allow it to do the rest. This one is going to take a little bit of while, so I'm going to skip to the next step after this one is done. Okay, the install is asking whether to install your favorite desktop environment. So since there is no desktop environment, we can select yes and decide on which desktop environment to install. Alright, so here we have the option. We can select from the various desktop environments that are supported by Sparky Linux. We have Awesome, BSCM, Baji, CDE, Cinnamon, Enlightenment, Fluxbox, GNOME, Flashbox, GNOME Shell, i3, ICE, JUM, KDE, Lumina, LXDE, LXQT, Mate. But for now, we also have XFCE and exit. Anyway, so for now let's go with let's try i3. I'm not sure if it's small enough, although I do not have a good connection. Oh, now it's asking whether we want a browser. I know Firefox is pre-installed, so we don't need a browser. We select the last option, or console. We don't need a browser. Web browser will not change. Okay, and now it's asking, are you sure you want to install i3 desktop and web browser? Select yes. Let's press OK and allow it to see if it can fetch the i3 window manager. So it requires about 353 MBs of data. I do not have enough data to download it. I only have like about 200 MBs of data, so there's no need to try something that will fail. But if you have a good connection, you can install it. So I'm going with no. You've seen the process. So it's asking whether I want to install, since that one has failed. So I'm going with no. Just quit the process of installing the browser and the desktop environment. For now, I can try that one later after the installation is complete. So no, just quit. Do not quit the installer. And let's allow it now to finish the installation without the desktop environment. If I had a good connection, I would have really gone through with the installation. So you've seen the process. That's the most important thing. So you can select whatever desktop environment you prefer and install it. Alternatively, after installation, you will still have the chance to run the commands to install the desktop environment via the terminal. Now this one is gonna take a little bit of while, so I'm going to skip till it is done. Alright, Sparky Linux installation is complete. Now we are now ready to reboot into our new system. Don't be too excited. Let's now boot into Sparky Linux. Now this is what I get since I did not install the desktop environment. So I'm still in the CLI or the TTY, if you call it that way. Now I need to log in. So I remember my username, it's Alex, and I do remember my password. So let's now log in, and my password. Alright, and this is all you get without the desktop environment. Oh wait, let's try to update our system. Sudo apt update and see what we get. It's working because I have a little bit of connection. We have 50 packages that need to be upgraded. So if I run sudo apt upgrade, I can upgrade those. And how about neofetch? Let's run neofetch and see what we get. And that one says command not found. But we can install this one. We can install it. So let's type sudo apt install neofetch and press enter. It's about 34 MB. That one I can download. Type yes and allow it to install. Alright, neofetch is installed. Let's clear this and then test it out. Just type neofetch, enter, and there it is. While we are in the TTY, if you decide to shut down your PC, so you just type on the terminal systemctl power off and your system will shut down. And that's it guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and catch you guys on the next one. Peace.